so since we're live, we're going to see how we're going to do this. So I don't know if I know Allie's our teacher, right? She's our lead teacher. And it says here, here's another question. I'm looking forward to see you in Vancouver. That's Handy Page. She's saying that to you there, Nick. So I don't know if our class has any questions. They can start posting on the wall, and I'm going to read them off for Nick, and then I'll just tell you the answer. So let's have the first question, Allie. If someone can post on the Facebook page, and I can read it, please.
I see one question here from John Philip Young asking if I have any pets. I have a dog, but I don't have a cat.
Okay, there's a first question. Do you have any pets, Nick?
I have a dog.
And what's your dog's name?
The dog's name is Lily. She's probably asleep somewhere right now because she just went for a nice long walk.
Lily. Okay, so now they're texting me questions, so I'm going to ask a question. So 2020, give us one of your best moments and I guess one of your worst moments.
In 2020, we got to go to the Marine Corps Warrior Trials in California as a team, and that was in February, so just before COVID kicked off. And the crew at Camp Pendleton treated us like gold. There was athletes from, I think, 9 other nations that had Marines or Army that had served together. So there was Brits there, the Dutch were there, Italians, French, and a few, maybe Colombia, a couple others. And we got to do 2 weeks of a week of training and then a week of competition. And I was in pretty good shape at that point, and I got a gold medal in cycling in the criterium, and I got bronze in the time trial and bronze in one of the rowing competitions. So I had an amazing experience, and again, it was amazing to see all of these veterans get together and share stories and have a laugh. And as much as they may have been hard charges when they wore the uniforms, now dealing with their current circumstances in life and realizing that the new normal is what you have to get used to, and you have to embrace that, and try and work as hard as you can with your current abilities and limitations. It was an amazing experience. My worst point in 2020 was probably when the world shut down. That was a pretty scary time for us here on the Vancouver Island, and I think probably everyone everywhere, when we realized that this virus had put everyone in a bit of a panic.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we have another question here. What interested you in cybersecurity?
I've always been a bit of a nerd, and my work as an intelligence officer was really interested, and I really liked the problem-solving aspect of it, and I liked working with, it's kind of like doing a puzzle in a different room using a translator to piece it together, and you don't even have the map that you're supposed to work off. So when I retired, I was looking for some sort of adjacent career that I could move into. And I had a friend that had been working in cybersecurity, risk management in Vancouver, and it's just, you should look into cybersecurity. It's kind of up and coming at the time. And so I was looking for something to put my attention towards. And it has a lot of similarities towards intelligence work. In Afghanistan, as an intelligence officer, a human officer running various sources and agents, we were looking for bad guys doing bad things in the desert. In cybersecurity, you're looking for bad people doing bad things online, and often you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. You don't have all of the you don't have the map. You have to kind of piece it together and use a variety of tools and techniques to kind of figure out what's happening. And then it requires some subby pencil work, and there's some great applications that will help you figure out who's doing what to whom and why, and then writing up all the reports. And as I said, as a nerd, I really liked the problem solving side of things, and I liked having some new challenge to put my focus on, and cybersecurity was a winner.
Well, you still seem quite passionate about it, so that's for sure. Okay, next question. Next question would be, how rewarding was competing in the Invictus Games, and did you feel resilience from sports competition?
it, competing in the Invictus Games and just the training process altogether, being together with a bunch of veterans was an amazing experience. It was incredibly rewarding. Actually, going back the second time to Germany was even more rewarding. As I said, the pressure for high level competition was off because I had some medical limitations to deal with. But it allowed me to experience the other 25, 30 members of my team and their trials and tribulations and phenomenal success. Don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have come home with a medal, but the medals weren't all it could be for me. I had an amazing experience interacting with not only the Canadian teammates, but the team members from across the world. I mean, there's nowhere else in the world at that time, so September 2023, where you could have sat out on the balcony, had a cup of coffee, and shared it with Americans, Australians, British, French, Dutch. Um, we had some Jordanians there. There was some Iraqi, like there were people from all around the world being able to sit there and enjoy the experience, and it was amazing to watch. And for me, as I said, the recovery through sport has been so powerful for me. It was great to see that translate across language barriers and physical barriers and emotional barriers across the whole experience.
That's great. Thanks, Nick. Okay, couple more questions. Boy, these people did their research. So, question number three, I was reading a blog post you wrote on Vanguard in 222. In the article, you mentioned "With You, With Me" uses psychedelic or psychotic testing. Maybe can you explain what that is?
Yeah, the psychometric testing that with you with me um, was a process, an algorithm that essentially some really bright people have put together that takes your testing scores and applies it against a benchmark. And what the company had done is they tested some number of thousands, 25, maybe 30,000 people across the Australian forces, taken all their scores and kind of looked at how they, what trade you had been, what life experience you had, and where you best fit in the technology sector. So they were trying to stream people that were leaving the forces and were feeling maybe hopeless or maybe like they didn't have transferable skills and saying, no, no, you have an incredible skill set coming out of the forces. And if you apply those skill set into these regions, whether it was data and analytics, cybersecurity, programming, software development, then you would have success based on your psychometric scores. And so they look at a wide variety of things that you can be tested against. You know, like how do you solve puzzles in 3D space, your word associations, math skills, science knowledge, a variety of things. And then they take those, benchmark them, and help you figure out what you could and could not be good at. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed myself.
Wow, that's a pretty good question. That's a great answer too, Nick. Thank you. So, one more question from the team, and then I'm gonna end up with one question. So here's a question from Adam. Nick, I currently have a friend in the Royal Navy, so he is always MIA for weeks. He's always away. Could you share what it was like for you being away for days and weeks or months from your friends and family? How and if it was the same during the Air Force and Army, so how did you cope with being away from your family and friends for so long, Nick?
But when I was in the Navy, early days, I wasn't married. And so being away, like the ship and the crew on ship were basically my family, my de facto family. I mean, I have my mom and dad and three brothers that I left behind and went off to do my training. And so it was always interesting to come home with some stories and kind of talk about the things that I'd done while I was away at sea. As I got older and I was married and I had kids, being away for long stretches was definitely challenging. I had a period where I was, either on course deployment or post deployment for probably about 8 years, and it was very challenging to be away that long for myself, but also for my wife and son at the time. And yeah, it's one of the things you sacrifice is time with your loved ones to be away, to do these things that you feel make an importance. As I said, I felt like we were making a big difference in Afghanistan at the time, and the people that we were working with and trying to protect against some of the insurgent activity. I felt like we were doing good work. So it was at the time I felt like it was um, a worthy sacrifice.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna end it with one more question. So, Nick, if you just wanted to pass along a message to your fellow veteran, some type of positivity, some type of tip, some type of advice, something that you've experienced, what would you pass along to your fellow veteran? Just something that you want to share.
Yeah, getting out of the military is a tough um, change for everything. You kind of give up your family, your friends, your network, and you move into something different. So my biggest suggestion to people that are retiring or being released from the military is find a new community involvement, a new group that you can connect with, whether it's through some of these many amazing veteran communities that are out there, but stay connected. Find a new group to connect with and do something with them, whether it's play music or get involved in some sports. There are sports available for all types of skills, abilities. I fully encourage people to stay connected. That's
Well, that's
my
great,
biggest
Nick.
suggestion.
I really thank you for being on the show today. Like I said, we're going to be heading out to the Invictus Games. I know this is going to be the last time we're going to be talking. I know I'll be seeing you out there, and just let every veteran out there know that this is a home for you. So, like Nick said, if you're looking to connect with a new group, a new platform, new support, give the Disability Channel a chance, and hopefully you'll love it. We also offer employment programs. So if you're looking for a new purpose in life, a new skill, a new job, looking to transition from the battlefield to the workforce, give us a call. We are a vendor with the VA, and I'm sure you would qualify. So again, you're watching the Veterans Corner. I'm Jay Stoyan. I'm going to come back after one short commercial break. I'm going to wrap the show with some announcements. So Nick, I really thank you for being on the show today, and we'll see you soon.
We will see. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll be right back.